Hello, I'm Tia Coyle from the Yorkshire Voice, and I'm here today to speak to Dr. Lisa Webster, Psychology Professor at Leeds Trinity University. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hiya. So today we're just going to talk about the negative effect social media has on young people today. So what do you think them negative effects are?
Well, it all relates really to self-esteem, anxiety and depression. So self-esteem is not a stable concept really. So it develops through young adolescence, through older adolescence into young adulthood. And when you have all these social media platforms now, they can really affect young people in their self-esteem in a way where they may have sleep problems because they're on social media all the time. Other negative effects are bullying, again, low self-esteem. All of that will lead to some form of psychological distress, and that comes out in depression and anxiety more often than not.
So do you think young people use social media as like as a way to like present themselves in a different persona, in a different light?
Certainly that can be one of the ways that young people use social media. And I think it encompasses communication as a whole really. I mean, one of the problems with social media, it's actually taking the human aspect out of communication. So where young people learn social interactions and social cues, tone of voice, things like that, facial expressions, you don't really get that with social media. So that people can then take on meaning in a message, for example, that doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
But also research has shown that there's many social media platforms out there now, and the more social media platforms that you use, the higher the likelihood is that you're going to suffer from anxiety or depression. And a study last year showed that Instagram was the worst one for young people then suffering from depression and anxiety. And that's because it's all photo based really, and it's challenging, I suppose, somebody's identity, somebody's self. It makes them feel that they're not good enough in comparison. It's all this comparing to someone else, yet that is a facade because it's not necessarily true.
So do you think it's a way to get acceptance from their peers? They upload posts on Instagram that necessarily might not look like them, or they edit it to make themselves look better in their eyes, and do you think they do it for acceptance from their peers so they don't get bullied and they don't get depressed? Do you think?
I think that's part of it. I mean, there are positive aspects to social media, and one of those positive aspects is the sense of community. But then what you end up doing, I suppose, is altering yourself slightly to fit into that community, and then that distorts your sense of self.
And you're not being yourself. You're not pursuing yourself on social media. You're pretending to be someone you're not.
Exactly. And when your self-esteem is still developing as well, it's going to have negative consequences on your self-esteem. And research also shows that self-esteem promotes, or it's predictive of, shall we say, success later on in life with various things like relationships or work and health as well. So this period of where self-esteem is being developed is very important. So we really do have to be careful how social media is used. And that's where I think social media platform companies really need to take a stand about raising awareness of how it really can have negative effects on young people's health and well-being, mental health and well-being.
Definitely. Is there anything you think we need to do to prevent this from happening?
I think there's several things that we can do. So there was an online survey done last year, and it was the Royal Society for Public Health, and I think they called for the social media platforms to raise awareness, and one of the things that they suggested was for those who use social media a lot, and when they have heavy usage, let's say in one day, these pop-up windows come up and alert the person to how much that they've been using social media. And also I think the government has a role to play. They really need to call for, what did the Royal Society say? Safe social media usage. So maybe it's that we need to go into schools and teach them, you know,
best ways to use
the
social
best
media.
ways to use social media, and at the same time make sure that we teach them about self-esteem and ways to promote and enhance their self-esteem and resilience at the same time, so then their future mental health will be protected.
Definitely, if you start at a younger age, it will, less effects will happen when you get to a young adult.
Of course, and then when you're a young adult, you have more transitioning phases, so transitioning from school to work or school to university, moving home, all these things. A young adult has so many outside stressors, is where self-esteem then comes in and this resilience. So it's important to protect that.
Definitely. Well, that was great. It's so nice speaking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And stay tuned in so we'll be talking about comparisons to Leeds and the transport and how much it costs to park and drive in and around London and Leeds. Thank you.